fellow YouTubers. I figure if I gotta go to work this morning, I might as well take y'all with me. Happy Taco Tuesday to everybody. And if you haven't already left for work and you're getting ready for work, what are you waiting on? Current time for me, 5:53 a.m. Metro Atlanta, Georgia. Born and raised in the South. Plan to stay in the South. For those that don't like it, oh well. And that brings to my question, why is it every time I meet somebody that's not from the South or not from Georgia, minding my own business at a bar, young lady sitting next to me, and this has happened on more than one occasion. As soon as I ask where I'm from, and I start to catch it. Oh, down here, y'all slow. Y'all don't like to do nothing. Don't get me started on these Atlanta men. Well, the way I see that is, if you move to a particular area and you don't like it, why don't you just go back home or somewhere else? Rather than to be living somewhere in misery because you can't cut the mustard. Now, if y'all don't know what cut the mustard is, look it up. But why stay in an area? And yeah, we have a right to live anywhere we want, but I won't be living somewhere where I'm miserable. So I catch that a lot. A lot of times when that conversation starts, I just avoid the question. I was like, I don't want to get into that, you know. And especially with a lot of, and this is not something that just happened yesterday. This is something that has happened several times, because I don't even be at the bar like I used to. But you know, me personally, I prefer somebody Southern. That's just a preference of mine. But if you're moving to an area, and I hear it a lot around, especially around in the metro area, how somebody's so mad or have so much anger against the fact that they're living here, as if they're being held against their will. Now, if you are, and if your home life is like that, then that's a whole nother conversation for another live stream. But it was just something I was thinking about this morning, and you know, the last time that conversation came up for me, when somebody was saying, y'all down here don't do this and y'all don't do that. So you have ran into 2 or 3 bad apples. So what those 2 or 3 bad apples did to you, you made your mind up about every man that you run into from Atlanta, Georgia. Or if it's not that, they will usually say, oh, I ain't never met nobody that's really from here. Well, we don't go around have to boast and brag about where we're from. It's home, you know. But basically what I'm saying, let's say I moved to, I don't know, Idaho. I didn't like it. Either I'm gonna bring my little tail back home to Atlanta, Georgia, or I'll go somewhere else till I find out what I really like. And that was only one time that I really strongly considered leaving the state of Georgia. I even went on a job interview and everything. But I was being misled. And on that flight to go on a job interview, it dawned on me how I was making this decision based on something or someone that didn't have our best interests at heart. So, you know, the whole mind game, the trickery, and I could have been stuck in a whole nother state, miserable right now, in a job that was probably affecting me because I didn't want to be in that particular state. And it's nothing against that particular state. I just knew that whole idea of moving wasn't for me. So I chose not to. I mean, I went through the job interview and everything, but you know, the fact of the matter is they really weren't paying enough money for me to have to relocate and get acquainted to the area, if you will. And anyway, while we was on at the interview, and a couple of members of the company, they took me out, wine me and dine me for lunch, and I ordered sweet tea. And here come the first jackass. Oh, we don't have sweet tea here. And I looked at him and said, now I'm in my interview. I said, man, we are still in the South. If you don't have sweet tea, what is wrong with y'all? That right there is a red flag for me not to take this job. So now the manager looking at me like, he started laughing. I said, no, my first day of business, I have to have sweet tea. So we talking about that. We're going back and forth. So they interviewing me, asking me all these questions that was not related to my field of work. But I answered the questions. I was very straightforward and the whole nine. And but in my mind, I couldn't help but think, why am I really making this move for based on a situation I'm in, and this person don't have my best interests at heart. And I really, at that point, I really stopped trying to, I don't know if I should say appease or please, but I stopped trying to do and hold on to. So they did offer me the job. So I flew in, flew out in one day. I had an extra day. Now I went through the whole nine. I was looking for places nearby to stay and all this, just looking at places, just trying to get a feel for the job and the area. And but I just didn't take the job. And that brings me back to my original point. If you move somewhere and you're not happy, just carry your little tail back home. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Me being from the state of Georgia, mainly Metro Atlanta. Born 45 minutes south from Atlanta, but been in Atlanta since I was 5. We really don't care if you leave. I mean, if you disgusted, and I'll take you to the airport. Call me. I normally won't even answer my phone. My ring is usually off when I'm asleep. But if you telling me you had enough, you might leave, I make sure my phone stays on all night for the next week. So if you need a ride to the airport, I will personally drop you off. If you want to get away that bad, I will drop you off. That's just in life. That's in relationship. You want to get away from me that bad, I'll drop you off at the airport. Those that know. Those that thought they were being slick, they really realized that fool knew. Yeah. So if you want to go, just go. Now, I'm not saying that I'm, big and bold. I've cried over relationships. Yeah, I've been heartbroken and all that stuff. But that's part of life. Who hasn't? But now, these days, number one, my attention span is too short. So if you can't keep me elevated and keep me occupied, I'm going to lose interest in you automatically. And I'm not saying I'm going to start dipping and tipping and being somewhere else. I'm just simply stating the fact that I'll lose interest. And I think that's with a lot of people once you get to a certain age. My interest is not taking a golf trip or walking around chasing a golf ball in a hot sun. To each his own. But for me, if you can't hold my attention, then this whole situation is soon to end itself. I firmly believe that there's nothing wrong with my feelings or the way I look at things. It's just the way it is. That's just how it is for me. Y'all excuse me, I'm parking. But anyway, if you don't like it, just move. That has nothing to do with Georgia. That has nothing to do with Tennessee. It's wherever you are. And if you're that upset because you was raised up north and you don't like any parts of the South, no matter where, just move. Y'all just go on back home. And I'm not saying you can't live here, you can't live there. But I'm just simply saying, look at me, y'all. I'm so dark this morning. If you don't like it, just go. I'm not gonna bother turning on the light. Y'all seen my ugly mug. But anyway, it's Taco Tuesday. unless I have my days wrong. But I don't think I'll be doing tacos today. I think I'm gonna do something different. I guess because I'm burnt out now on those tortilla shells. Um, how I usually start my morning is 2 cups of coffee and 2 mugs of coffee. I like it in my favorite uh, 30-year-old coffee mug that somebody made a comment about it's outdated. I need to get with the times. Yeah. Oh. So just because everybody got a Yeti, or there I go again naming stuff. Just because everybody got one of these other things, I'm supposed to run out and get one. And I told this person, no, my coffee cup has sentimental value. And she was asking, well, you don't mind? Can you explain? I sit there and told that lady off, bold face line, had her in tears over a coffee cup, and I made up the whole story. So basically, lady, mind your business. I'm drinking my coffee. Leave me alone. You know, yeah, people always got something to say about something. Oh, it's just me. I just think everybody just gripe about anything. Their griping got me griping. So I told her this extravagant lie. Y'all know what? I think I should have been a storyteller. And I ain't saying I'm walking around here lying to people, but I can make up a good one. I got on this roll about, how I got the coffee cup and what happened and the reason why I won't throw it away and why I drink out of it every day. And I was told I got a brand new coffee mug sitting right next to the other one, and I tried it. It just don't hit the same. It's kind of like when you go to a bar and you drinking mixed drinks and you got ice in it. They don't supposed to do this because of, the whole health and ordinance and all this crap. But we all would always tell the bartender, no, same glass. Because at that point, your glass is seasoned. That ice still have the alcohol in it. It's got into the ice. So you want that seasoned glass. So that's the same process with that coffee cup. It's seasoned. I'm moving because I think I'm scratchy, y'all. But anyway, everybody have their favorite cup when they're at home. Everyone probably, most people have a favorite spoon to eat with. But mine happened to be this mug. So basically, it ain't none of her business what I drink out of. Anyway, it's no story for another day. I got on live because I figured if I got to drive to work, I was going to take y'all with me this morning. That's how short my commute was. My commute time is roughly 12 minutes. And one of my favorite side streets that I normally would take is shut down until the end of May. And there are several roads I can take, but it's just that little cut through is putting me in different directions. But only added 3 minutes to my commute. That's not bad. But I happen to enjoy my short commute to work. Now, getting to work, getting out your car. Do y'all ever just feel like you pull up at your job and it's just, you don't hate your job? Let me just put that out there for all the boss men that are watching. It's not that we hate our job. Sometimes we just don't want to be bothered. It's just like a relationship. I get up and don't want to be bothered with her. So work is the same way. Sometimes you don't want to be bothered with these people. And y'all know what I do. I have my headphones on all day long. I put on me some nice music or a couple of podcasts, and I don't bother nobody. For the most part. I used to be that person. I go visit, people in cubicles and things of that nature. But now, I think after putting in, oh my God, I've been working since I was 14. I don't want to be bothered with a lot of people. I'm cordial. I can have a conversation. But sometimes you lose your work relationships. And that's not because you're angry with somebody. Sometimes you just don't want to fool with people. And then when that drama starts happening, and I'm going to bring this up because of that situation that happened here in Georgia at that Walmart, that shooting. And I don't care where this winds up, that for anybody that knows me, this is the reason why I don't mess around with people at work, because of some of the past situations I had. because stuff can go just that bad and get just that serious. And I know in my next meeting in my department, I'm going to bring that situation up because it needs to be addressed. And I'm not saying I'm finna go up here and do that to nobody, but I'm just simply saying you never know what can happen to elevate a situation that ends in people getting murdered on their jobs. You know, and I know I got a short temper. I know I'm quick to go left on somebody, and but I'm gonna tell y'all something. I feel good after I cut somebody out. Once I go in all in on you, I feel good afterwards because I just released all that negative energy that I probably have built up over the weeks that 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 may not be related to work, that may not be related to that person. It could be, I don't know, my car battery dead. It could be in it. Small things will fester, and then here come the right person to light your fuse, and you go all in on them. Yeah, don't hold back. Cuss a some bitch out. You're going go on in on them, cause you're gonna feel better. Cause people always tell you, that's just too much energy. You know, going no. You wasting too much energy holding that stuff in. You wasting too much energy walking around day to day with your lip poked out and you mad about something. You know, if you can walk it out, exercise it out, but get that stuff out of your system the best way you can. But you know, I don't know what happened in that situation. Yeah, y'all gonna get videos from me like this. It could be completely dark, it can be bright, it could be me walking through the woods. Y'all know what, just take it for what it is. That's what make going live different, because you're gonna get a person in their natural state at that particular time. This is not scripted, no fake backgrounds or nothing like that. But anyway, when you're dealing with a lot of different people in your life and they're causing you grief, first of all, you got to get to a point where you don't allow that grief to enter your life. That's at work, that's at home, that's even with your pet. But sometimes people will just keep trying you. Now, this incident that happened here in Atlanta that ended with people dying, and I hate that happened. That probably could have been handled many different ways. But who knows what was going through the mind of that person that went and got that gun? Who knows what was on his mind? Who knows what his person was mentally, how stable that person was? You know, and that's kind of jacked up. That's a couple of years ago. This young lady here in the metro area got involved with this guy. She worked at the warehouse with him. Knew nothing about him. Her mom met him. Her mom instantly told her, "Don't fool with him." He ended up murdering her. And if my memory serves me correctly, he murdered her. His brother and his brother's girlfriend helped conceal the body. So y'all be careful. You know, I mean, yeah, I know y'all like it rough. Y'all like them hard ones and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes these guys buy into that lifestyle. You know, you met him. He's hard. He's raw. He's all this. And now you'll feed into it by letting him know just how rough he is. He's starting to buy into it. Now he's watching these videos. Now he's watching all this gangster stuff. So he's assuming this identity. You know, and that's like, you know, it's just crazy how, you know, we've got these guys running around here in the city acting a doggone fool. 90% of them, they're afraid of the damn dark, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, I've been up at the gas station and I normally got to get gas in the daytime, but you know, first of all, I don't like people walking up on me, period. And if I'm walking in a store and I'm all the way over here to the right and you come down the same aisle, why are you putting yourself right in my path right next to me? So I'm watching people. You know, I may or may not have something on me, but I'm just saying, yeah, I know I can get caught up. I can get, somebody can catch me slipping. I already know that, y'all, but I'm just saying, you have to watch these shifty people these days. You know, and especially that same shifty person that's laying in that bed next to you, and you know they shifty, and you know they got some stuff on them, and but you laying there like the attorney that was here. Oh yeah, she had to have her rough one. She had a rough one. He couldn't handle being without her. He killed her. Yes, he did. It was the type that she wouldn't have him around nobody. We all got that one. We all, if you're like me and you grew up in certain areas, we all know somebody that knows somebody, as the saying goes. So if you need it, you can get it. You knew where to go if you needed something done. I remember way back in the day, if somebody needed a part for a car, somebody needed some tires, or I knew a guy actually that would total out somebody's car for the insurance money. So this is nothing new, but it seems like the end result to everything these days end with murder. In a lot of cases, it wasn't always like that, and I don't understand why people. I'm not condoning stealing and robbing, but you ain't got to kill nobody over. They probably got $20 in their purse, and you throwing away your whole life. Now, all that roughness and toughness you thought you had inside you, then when you get in that prison, y'all better start watching these prison life podcasts. Cause what these men are saying, and I ain't been in there. I hope I don't never have to go, but watch some of these podcasts. I do believe a lot of these men are telling the truth, how they're turning these youngsters once they get in there. And maybe sometimes you probably don't care. You probably already out here on the street already turned. You and your homeboy, y'all probably turning each other already. But what you do is your own business. I have nothing against that. Who you loving on, love who you love. That is not the nature of this conversation I'm having this morning. Cause y'all know I'll get on here and I'll just start talking. And me trying to find that perfect niche and trying to find, well, do this on this platform, do this and you'll gain this and you'll gain viewership. The way I feel, if people like you and they want to subscribe, they will subscribe. I can't try to remember how to do all these little things to line it up perfectly, and then I'm constantly watching my analytics trying to see if I'm growing, because I followed all these little bitty steps. You're gonna grow if you talk. It doesn't matter if you got 1,200 subscribers, 200 subscribers, or 500,000. Now, for those that are 500 and above, I applaud you. Even if you over 200,000, I applaud you. Even if you got 1,000, I applaud you. Because when I reached my first 500, I thought I was doing something. But then I realized, now I'm sitting here watching, trying to see who my next subscriber gonna be. So I'm not even worried about that now. I may say something totally different in respects to that next week. I may jump 500 more subscribers, but for the time being, I'm not even concerned about that. I can get on here and talk and voice my opinion and say what I have to say, and hopefully those of you that are following and my viewers, y'all just sitting there calmly just listening while you have your coffee and eat your eggs, or you laying there next to your boo or whatever. And if you laying there next to your boo, and if you anywhere near me and it's already 6:15 in the morning, you need to wake his butt up until he need to go to work. Especially if he ain't got no job. Get him up, let him go hustle. But anyway, I'm not gonna keep chasing subscribers. Now, y'all just hear me out. I do appreciate y'all. And for everybody that does continue to subscribe, I appreciate it. But I'm not gonna keep making this a major focal point to like, comment, and subscribe. I would rather you send me comments and give me something to think about than just hitting a subscribe and don't say nothing at all. That's like people on this dating app. And like I said, now it's become such a joke for me. What's going on with my vehicle?
Why did the ski instructor go to college?
Y'all hear this? Why my car?
Because knowledge is powder.
Y'all hear my car talking to me? I didn't ask her nothing. That's that chick that started with an A. She always butting in. Let's let y'all know she's listening. Yeah, that Lexi girl. She's always listening. I'm gonna shut her off. But anyway, on this dating app, and like I said, I had on there, instead of just always hitting the like button, could you send a greeting along with it? Hello, how are you? Whatever. I put it on there for a reason. And then I don't check it for 2 or 3 days, and I have 10 likes. I reply to each and every one of them. Thanks for the like, but you take a minute to read my profile. Oh, that goes to show you people don't pay attention to nothing. You know, it's not like you reading an instruction manual on how to plug in a dishwasher. You know, how do you initially start if you think you're interested in somebody? How do y'all start an interesting conversation with somebody? Or how do you start when you reach out to somebody through a dating app? It starts with initial contact. It don't start with sending somebody a thumbs up or sending somebody just hitting the like button. You know, reach out to the person. Don't be afraid to reach out to them. A young lady told me, oh no, she's not gonna be the first to reach out. If I gave you my number, we exchange numbers, you're gonna have to call me first. Well, let's just back up there, Miss Mary, because now you're already trying to put me into a category to where I'm gonna have to do things that you say. If you interested, it don't matter who reaches out first. And anyone told me, nah, I knew you called. I just didn't want to be so quick to talk on the phone. Well, why in the hell did you give me your phone number? You know that was not a call back. Because at that point, I'm just as good as I'm interviewing you. You give me your number. You don't answer the phone. Now, if you're busy, I got all that. But you don't return the call. And then the next day you text me, well, I noticed you called. I just wasn't ready for a call or conversation yet. What is wrong with people? Are we just out here just for the attention? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Yesterday, I don't know, I think I was doing a chat and dinner or something like that. And I think I ended up with something like 75 views. I didn't know there was 75 people that was very much interested in watching me sit there, eat, and just talk trash. But I appreciate y'all. If this is what works for y'all, it's going to keep working for me. But I'm going to get in here and have my coffee right now and eat my morning breakfast, which I brought in, and my lunch. Because, like I said the other day, as much as it's so convenient for me to run around the corner and grab me something for lunch, I'm really tired of people just slinging my food out the window, and my burger, whatever I get, is not put together. It's hanging out of the wrapper. You know, to me, that's how I'm wasting money. Because no matter where you go for the average burgers and fries, it's going to cost you $10 almost. And then you can get a bigger and better burger at one of these nice sit-down entry-level restaurants than you can at fast food now for cheaper. You know, so I'd rather go there and throw in a salad, you know, or do soup and salad for lunch. I'll happily spend that, whatever, $12, $13 on that. But for them to keep slinging all this garbage out the window that they calling their specials, I'm not doing that stuff no more. They're gonna catch me slipping sometimes, but not too often. And yes, y'all, if anybody said anything about we can't see you, this video is done purposely just like it is. Because like I say, when I go live, my surrounding is going to be whatever's going on around me at that particular time. Just so happen it's still dark and I'm sitting out here right now. I wish I could just put this car and drive and go back home, to be honest with you. But I'm here. No sense in wasting a day's gas. So I might as well go in here and put on my work face. Y'all know how it is. I don't dislike it. Some days I just don't want to do it. But we have to pay bills. That's why I need to get up off my sorry butt. These last few days, I've had to really convince myself to do extra work, side projects. I had to convince myself. Something that should come natural. But sometimes you go through that. You need a break. and I needed a break. But I'm back. But once again, uh, Ravina, if I said it right, you asked me where was I going. I was headed to the office. I wasn't going out of town. You know, it was my morning commute time. Like I said earlier, it's like 12 minutes. I figured I'll take y'all along with me. So now that I'm paused, I've made it to work. I'm safe and sound. Didn't even have time to drink my water this morning. I'll drink when I get in. It's usually two bottles of water before I drink my coffee anyway. So, but anyway, everybody have a great day. You know, if I made it to work, if I had to get up and come to work, y'all need to also. Because when I get back on here live this afternoon, I want to make sure y'all got your lights are on and your phone is working. So let's get in there and make that money. Everybody have a good day. Later.